Welcome to the audiobook of New Social Studies, Grade 10. Unit 9, Lesson 5, page number 371. Current Affairs and Their Effects. Introduction. Current affairs are the events of political, economic, environmental, or social interest and importance happening in the world at the present time. Some events are desirable while some are undesirable and harm the nature and mankind. Some events leave long-lasting effects in the world. The event happening in one part of the world may affect the other part as well. It is important for us to get informed about such happening in the world at the present time. Let's study about some of the current affairs and their effects. Number 1. Climate change. It is a change in global or regional climate patterns. It is due to the increased levels of atmospheric carbon dioxide produced by the use of fossil fuels and deforestation. It is also called global warming, which refers to rise in average surface temperature on Earth. The gases trap heat within the atmosphere, which can have a range of effects on ecosystems, including rise in sea level, acid rain, melting of ice caps, forest fire, drought, flooding, shrinking of grasslands and rainforest, etc. Thus, we need to be aware about the creation of clean environment, the conservation of biodiversity, causes and consequences of the climate change, and try our best to mitigate its negative effects. Number 2. Disarmament. It is the process of reducing or limiting the use of weapons. This process includes the balanced cutoff of traditional weapons and disposal of powerful weapons such as nuclear bomb and biological weapons. It also discourages the production, distribution, and storage of such dangerous weapons. The production of various biological and non-biological weapons has threatened and terrified the world. The use and supply of such weapon has created crisis in human existence. It is a fact that general arms and weapons worth $2 billion are legally traded, and those worth $1 billion are smuggled. Some weapons remain active for a long period of time and cause destruction. Realizing this fact, various activities for disarmament and limited use of weapons are going on after the establishment of the UN for the world peace and security. Thus, we need to keep on collective efforts to make the world a safer place through disarmament. 3. Epidemic. It is an outbreak of infectious disease that spreads more quickly and more extensively among a group of people. Several infectious diseases have appeared and spread, affecting human health. Diseases like Ebola, HIV/AIDS, swine flu, SARS, Zika virus, etc. have created problems as epidemic disease in different parts of the world. The Zika virus spread in Brazil, affected in about 42 countries, and terrified the world. Such diseases have affected negatively in human life. Thus, we need to improve our lifestyle and try to prevent such epidemics. 4. Landmine. It is an explosive mine laid on or just under the surface of the ground or sea. It explodes if disturbed by pressure or the closeness of something such as metal. It may take the life of many innocent people and animals. Landmines were used widely during the World Wars. It was also used during the 10-year-long armed conflict in Nepal. With the advancement of modern technology, such explosive materials are getting easy access. The UN agencies and programs have been supporting financially and technically to give the required information. Thus, we should always be careful while moving in sensitive areas and touching suspected objects. If such objects are seen, we should inform the security authority so that they can make it ineffective. 5. Nuclear energy. It is the energy released during nuclear fission or fusion, fission, especially when used to generate electricity. Its production and use have been developed as a complicated issue in the world. Iran and North Korea are producing and using nuclear energy, which has created dispute in international arena. The history of the use of nuclear energy began when the atom bombs were dropped in Japan in 1945 AD. With the view to cope with the problems in the human health by nuclear energy, the UN has established International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA). It works to promote the safe, secure, and peaceful use of nuclear technologies. 6. Population growth. Population growth is the increase in the number of individuals. The world is going through a unique population pattern. Due to the improvement in health service and facilities, death rate in all over the world has decreased. The population of elderly population is getting higher and life expectancy is increasing. The UN issued a declaration on elderly people in 1982 AD and requested all to accept the elderly people as the matter of social security but not as a problem. In order to pay respect to the senior citizens, Government of Nepal has been providing social security allowance to senior citizens since 2051 Bikram Sambat. Senior citizens are our guidelines and store of knowledge and experience. Thus, we should develop a positive attitude towards old age people. 7. Sustainable development. It is the development that is conducted without depletion of natural resources so that the future generation can also use it. The objective of the sustainable development is related to the protection of the earth and resources available here. With the completion of 15-year programs of the Millennium Development Goals (MDGs), the UN General Assembly in 2015 AD agreed to launch Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) for next 15 years, that is 2016 to 2030 AD. Democracy, good governance, and rule of law have been considered as the standard of sustainable development. If the concept of the sustainable development is fully implemented, we don't need to suffer from the environmental degradation and natural calamities. Thus, we need to carry out our activities as per the concept of sustainable development so that available resources will not be depleted. 8. Terrorism. It is the violence or the threat of violence carried out to fulfill the political, economic, social, and any other aim. The terrorizing activities like hijacking, murdering, kidnapping, bomb blasting, etc. have created security threat to the world. It has become a big challenge to the world. Several terrorist groups are active to fulfill their aims by creating fearful situation. Terrorist attacks in New York, Paris, Belgium, Afghanistan, and Iraq were very much terrifying violence. Syria and Afghanistan are suffering badly from terrorism. Every year, hundreds of innocent people lose their life due to terrorist activities. Though several regional and international organizations promise to end the terrorism, it has not yet been ended. Thus, we need to be aware about it and help to make the world a safer place. Activities, page number 373. Number 1. How many persons are above 60 years of age in your community? What problems are they having? Discuss and present in the class. 2. Stephen William Hawking was an English theoretical physicist, cosmologist, author, and director of research at the Center for Theoretical Cosmology within the University of Cambridge. He was born on 8 January 1942 and passed away on 14 March 2018 at the age of 76. He was the first to set out a theory of cosmology explained by a union of the general theory of relativity and quantum mechanics. Discuss in the class about his contribution in the field of science. 3. Nuclear energy should be developed in Nepal. Either criticize or approve of this statement in detail. 4. Sophia is a social humanoid robot. She became a Saudi Arabian citizen in 2017. She is the first robot to receive citizenship of any country. She is able to display more than 62 facial expressions. She has participated in many high-profile interviews. She also addressed a conference on the theme Technology for Public Services and Development, organized by the United Nations Development Programme in Kathmandu on 21st March 2018. Sophia was named the United Nations Development Programme's first ever innovation champion and the first non-human to be given any United Nations title. Discuss in the class about Sophia and her role in the contemporary world. Exercise. Very short answer questions. Number 1. What do you mean by current affair? 2. What is terrorism? 3. What is meant by disarmament? 4. What is meant by atomic power? Short answer questions. 1. What are the current affairs of Nepal or world? List any 4 of them. 2. How can terrorism be ended? Write in points. 3. Discuss about the preventative measures of Zika virus. 4. Write any 4 effects of the ozone layer depletion. 5. What efforts have been made to keep the environment clean in Nepal? Make a list of them. 6. Prepare an editorial to a national daily highlighting the negative effects from the use of explosive materials. Community work. Interact with a local intellectual about the causes, effect, and preventative measures of climate change and prepare a report. This is the end of Unit 9, Lesson 6 at page number 373. This podcast is dedicated to visually impaired students. So if you know anybody who needs this book to listen and learn, please share the link and also please subscribe the channel. Thank you and all the best.